My dear friends, best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. We start our stream this evening time from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, and this stream is going to be evening stream from the entomological laboratory, from the laboratory of Dr. Viktor Fursov, entomologist, beekeeper teacher. That's me, and this is my channel, Dr. Viktor Fursov, entomologist, beekeeper teacher, and you can recognize entomologist if you can watch me and you can see here this butterfly net. This is a real entomological net. This is butterfly net, or you may say beetles net. Today we will be talking with you about insects, about entomology, science about insects. And I'm entomologist, beekeeper teacher, and this is my channel. I invite you to join my channel, to subscribe to my channel, to join this stream from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. Today I will be talking in English language for our English-speaking community, for English-speaking audience. Sorry about other languages, so today I can be communicating with English-speaking community about entomology, about zoology, about nature conservation. Because actually now this is a daytime somewhere in far away in Washington, in New York City, and it's actually daytime somewhere in South America, in Lima, in Colombia as well. And it's nighttime in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, in China and Japan. And it's early morning time, very early morning time in Australia and New Zealand. So far so good in Ukraine and Western Europe. It's evening time, so join our stream to communicate in English and to watch my collection and watch my presentation here today about insects and entomology science. Write your questions, write your requests, write your intriguing questions in this chat. I can be trying to read it, to answer for that, and I can present you a little bit from my insects collection, because I'm entomologist. Today I will be showing you just a little bit of my entomological collection of insects in my different jars, in different boxes, and can present you some different orders of insects, and we can discuss the importance of different orders of insects in the nature and importance of nature conservation as well. Join our stream. Today this stream will be in English. You can recognize that I'm keeping in my hands butterfly net, which is used by entomologists for insects collecting in tropical region, in semi-tropical region, in deserts, in temperate regions as well. In Ukraine I have been using it for many years, and also I have been using different entomological traps to collect insects, including these tiny insects which I'm studying. Because I'm studying not very big insects, as you can imagine. I'm not studying big butterflies, not big beetles, not huge wasps, not huge cockroaches, or different grasshoppers. No leaf hoppers, not big one. Very, very, very tiny one. I'm studying very tiny, very small insects, and they're called parasite wasps. My favorite group, which I have been asking during many 70 different streams here on this platform, what is my favorite insect? What can I say? What is my beloved insects actually? And they are presented here on this poster, on these photographs, on these pictures. They are parasitoids. I'm studying parasitoids. Tiny, small parasitic wasps. And these wasps, they are entomophagous wasps. Some of them phytophagous by developing inside some plants, but majority they're entomophagous. And my favorite group, these are egg parasitoids. They're developing inside eggs of different insects. They belong to families Trichogrammatidae and family Mimaridae, some other families. And these are calcid wasps, superfamily Calcidoidea. Yes, today this stream is in English, so please write your questions in English. You can translate your questions in English, or you can use, of course, your native language. Don't worry about it. I can read it, I can understand it, and I can answer for some interesting questions in English or other languages if I can read it myself or using Google Translator. So some our followers actually in Europe, in America, in Africa, in Asia, in Australia speak English, by the way. So that's why I hope that some audience can understand me clearly and can answer my requests, and I can answer for your requests and your questions as well. What insects do you like, by the way? What insects do you hate? Are you afraid of insects? Majority of people say, I hate insects. I hate them. I'm afraid of them. I do not like them. But entomologists, scientists who are studying insects, who are devoted entomologists, who are devoted biologists and entomologists are studying insects in different aspects of their life, of their morphology, of their behavior, of their ecological importance in the nature. I'm biologist, I'm entomologist, and I'm studying morphology, systematics, behavior, and trophical relations of these tiny parasitic wasps, their trophical connections, links with other insects, with their hosts, which they are using for development of their larvae as egg parasitoids, larval parasitoids, egg-larval parasitoids, pupal parasitoids, and even adult parasitoids. They are belonging to calcid wasps, superfamily Calcidoidea of order Hymenoptera, which includes bees, wasps, hornets, ants, sawflies, and parasitoids, parasitic wasps. Join our stream, press on like, press on repost, also visit my profile here, biography in my profile here for some other links. You can join me on other social webs. You can go up where here in this angle, so you can see here my photographs and also the link on some other social media, some other websites with videos and some other presentations as well. And also these are some links also belonging to links to Monobank and some other links for another sponsorship links. Your sponsorship of our channel is greatly appreciated. How you say, do entomologists using only entomological net for collecting insects? Not at all. Entomologists using different methods for collecting insects, including some traps. The most common trap, for instance, to collect some beetles, like ground beetles of the family Carabidae. These are yellow jars. These plastic jars are commonly used by coleopterists. Coleopterists are filling them with water, with salt, with detergent, and put them underground, put in this open hole just in the ground. And insects just crawling around, and they are trapped inside the water, and they are killed inside these yellow traps, yellow jars, which are established just on ground usually. Mostly it's useful for beetles, some crawling insects, some larvae which are crawling here around. Sometimes some snails are coming here. They're a little bit disgusting because they're destroying some insects inside the water, but you can clean them later and fix them in alcohol, in ethanol, or in other liquids. So these are very common traps for beetles, for instance, or some crawling arthropods on the ground. But of course, not only ants can be crawling here around on the ground and can drop inside and can be collected for following entomological study. Some murky traps or yellow pen traps like that are used very frequently for collecting insects. Some of these plates are yellow and also shallow, some of them deeper, depth is better, so they're filled also with water, with shampoo and salt, so you can distribute them on the ground, on stones, on grass, and insects which will be not only crawling on the ground like here, can drop down inside and can be killed here inside. Some insects which are flying here somewhere around, flying everywhere around, were attracted by yellow light, yellow coloration of these plates, and they're falling down inside, and they're dying here inside the water with shampoo, because the surface is so soft and insects cannot escape from the water. This is the most valuable material, because insects are collected here clean, usually, but with detergent for sure. And this is very passive traps. You don't need to use some activities at night time, morning time, evening time. You are just waiting for collected material. So insects are collected here in water with shampoo and salt. And next day you are coming with not entomological net, but with aquarium net like that. And you are filling this net with fill out water with insects inside aquarium net. This mesh is very dense, so insects will not escape, even the smallest one. You can collect all insects inside the net, clean it in the under the fresh water in laboratory or in the stream if you are in the field, and then you can take them off to some another jars with ethanol and or alcohol, 70 or 90%. Very good alcohol. It's very strong alcohol. So insects will be very flexible and very easily can be taken out of your aquarium net inside jar boxes, inside alcohol for following storage for years. They can be saved here, stored for many years, for some years at least, before precise sorting. Because sorting is a very important activity to sort out most important families and most important insects, most important orders of insects which have been collected during this period of trapping by these murky traps with water, with salt and shampoo. So another aquarium net like that is also useful, also with very dense mesh. Fill it, clean it, and save it inside alcohol. These are scientific material for following ecological study, morphological study, and taxonomical study under the microscope. And I'm using not only collecting method, but most important, the most long time, this is a study time at laboratory, sorting material, and sorting and identification material, and selection of the most important insects which have been collected in traps, or reared from some traps, or collected by entomological net. And of course, sometimes I'm collecting big insects like that. You can recognize this jar with many hornets. These are Vespa crabber European hornet. The big one, the most dangerous in Ukraine and in Europe as well. And I'm talking with my audience, English-speaking audience, if someone is asking me. Yes, I know that majority of audience here, this audience from Ukraine, and majority of common people are not speaking English in Ukraine. Sorry about that, or not sorry about it at all. But there are some educated people in Ukraine as well. There are some foreigners who are living in Ukraine. Some foreigners who are expected to come to Ukraine. And some people, scientists, businessmen, or ordinary people who are interested in communication with Ukrainian people. That's why my presentation in English is intended for English-speaking audience, which can understand me which can understand English language and will not understand Ukrainian language at all, or other languages of Slavic group as well. That's why I'm communicating in English, and don't ask me such funny questions as some people are already writing here in chat. But thank you for questions. If I can read some funny questions, I can announce it aloud and I will be trying to answer for that. So I was talking about hornets. These are hornets collected just in my free time as a kind of hobby, to make this small presentation, to make this demonstrational collection for students, for visitors, for college students, for university students who are coming to our institute where I'm studying, because I'm studying these tiny parasitic wasps in my Institute of Zoology, National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine, which is located in Kyiv at Bogdan Khmelnytsky Street in the center of Kyiv, near Theater Underground Station, near the Nature Museum or Natural History Museum of Ukraine in the center of Kyiv. Welcome to my laboratory. We can communicate, we can collaborate, we can discuss entomology, entomological science, and also insects collected in different parts of the world, where you are now, where you can be in the future, or where you are expecting to come. Or maybe you are expecting to come to Ukraine. If you need some advices, welcome to send me email, welcome to send me your question privately in private message, and we can discuss about collaboration or just about some private questions if you do like it as well. What is the most important part of entomological study? For sure, this is identification. But before identification, you need to collect insects. And most of people are thinking that entomologists were studying big insects, as I said, like beetles, butterflies, cockroaches, grasshoppers, leafhoppers, some big insects like that. Were crawling, were jumping, were flying around everywhere. But some insects and many insects were very tiny, were very small, were extremely tiny. And it's good because the tiniest of them, the smallest of them, were poorly studied all around the world. If these insects are quite small, it means some of these groups have never been studied in different areas, even in Europe, not talking about tropical regions. In tropical regions, they have not been studied as well. Or they have been collected maybe by some entomologists from Western institute, from Western universities, or from Eastern universities. They are stored in the stock of museums, universities, but still have never been studied precisely, have never been identified. So that's why taxonomists, they task with have a goal, they have opportunity to study, to identify the smallest group of insects, like small beetles, small butterflies, small tiny moths, small tiniest and tiny parasitoids like that, like these tiny parasitoids of superfamily of calcid wasps as well, which I'm studying too. And I have been studying these insects in different laboratories all around the world. I have been visiting some laboratories in other countries where I have been sitting with microscope, studying insects under the microscope, making microscopic slides, typing some descriptions of some tiny insects, and then publishing results of identification and study of taxonomy, morphology, and biology of some parasitic wasps in scientific journals, because entomologists and scientists, zoologists need to not only to study, not only to collect insects, but also to publish results in different scientific journals. These are goals, tasks of scientists and entomologists and zoologists as well. Just a minute, I can press here for one useful button. Just to activate some functions. I hope so. If we can activate some functions. Alright, like here. Okay. I can invite some people for our discussions. If you do like to communicate today in English. I'm not quite sure that many people are happy to be invited, but nevertheless we have here chat box. If you go to this tiny angle here, somewhere here like that, with picture of red and blue man, so we can communicate on chat by voice. So you can ask your question or just we can discuss openly during this chat. And I have opportunity to show you some insects in my jars, by the way, because I'm keeping part of my collection, which is demonstrational collection for students. This is not precisely my scientific material. This is more or less kind of a demonstrational material, like some beetles, some bees, and I will be trying to show it just in front of the camera, and we can talk about it as well, about different orders, about different beetles, different insects in these jars, in these plastic boxes. Someone is asking question, how did you become an entomologist? Funny question, but that's just ordinary one. To become entomologist, you need to get education of entomologists. You need to get education of biologists. I have been graduated in university, then I got my degree in the Institute of Zoology. In university, I got a red diploma with written teacher of biology and entomology, entomologist and plant protection. So this is my qualification. Teacher of biology and biology and chemistry, and entomologist and plant protection. And this is a box with beetles. These are tiny beetles, not tiny, but a relatively big one, of different families from tropical regions. They have been collected by one of my friends and colleagues, and this is just a gift as a kind of a demonstrational collection. Here some Elateridae click beetle, the biggest one click beetle, here in the central part. Then this is a stag beetle on the down part from Vietnam and from Thailand, and horn beetle, longy horn beetle in the central part with big mandibles and big antennae, longy horn beetles. They are belonging to Lucanidae, longy horn beetles. Click beetle, this is Elateridae family. And stag beetle, these are Lucanidae as well. And some green-colored beetle, like this one. This is Scarabidae family, and this another one as well. So different families from tropical region. Tropical region is extraordinary nice place for entomologists because the diversity of nature, diversity of animals, beetles, butterflies, all different orders of insects are higher than in a region with temperate region. The biodiversity of nature is wider, so it's possible to use the same method of collecting, and you can find more species than in temperate region, for instance in Europe for sure. That's why if you are coming to tropical regions, you will be not disappointed, but you will be surprised by different insects, absolutely wonderful biodiversity of nature. Thank you for gifts, thank you for coming. Welcome to write your questions and welcome to listen. Enjoy this tiny collection of different insects in these jars. And here I'm showing you here some bumblebees up away. This is a big female of a bumblebee, Bombus terrestris, round bumblebee. Down there, you can see here with open spread wings. These are some wasps. And big one, this is a female of Scolidae, Megascole maculata, or mammoth wasp. Actually, because so big one with very big head and big mandibles. Parasitoid of horn beetle in Ukraine, Oryctes nazicornis, horn beetle, which is very common in Ukraine. So these are not real species. Yes, this is Megascole, that's right. Oleg showed us Megascole in his collection, and soon I will show you another species of Megascole as well. So welcome to another streams as well. What do I think about facts about these insects? I'm delighted to talk about these insects because they have wonderful behavior to come to underground nest of a hornbeam underground. Megascole is coming underground, making just stinging. She stings horn beetle larva underground and lay eggs underground. So that's why this is unique behavior when this big wasp is hunting for very big larva of beetle, but not outside of the soil, but underground inside. Little bit deep, maybe 15 centimeters, 10, 15 centimeters underground inside the soil, or inside the stem of some rotting plants, rotting trees, for instance. So they're living even in some highly populated areas of cities. So I collected just them, just near my house in Donetsk region in Ukraine. So their behavior is absolutely awesome, quite very interesting, and I'm delighted to talk about them. What about another big insects? Yes, these are insects belonging to Lepidoptera order. These are moths. The big one, this is Saturnipeirae. Saturnipeirae, family Saturniidae. Big silk moth with spots on the upper part of wings, on both wings, so 4 spots. This is kind of mimicry, to be invisible somewhere on plants, on trees, on branches, and also maybe some these round spots. They're kind of a protection, like against some predators, like some tiny small squirrels, for instance, maybe. Actually, I have the channel on horizontal mode, and as you wrote here, Yulia, I had this channel. You can check my name, the name indicated here, Dr. Viktor Fursov, and you can find 10,000 videos on my channel with a red button in different languages, in Ukrainian, in Russian, and in English as well. But today's stream is devoted to insects, entomology, biology, and science, and this stream in English language for devoted people who enjoy English, who like entomology, who likes biology as well. So I had this channel. This is answer for your question. Someone is asking about cockroaches. Do I have tropical cockroaches in my collection? Yes, for sure, I have tropical cockroaches. Maybe I can find them somewhere in some of my boxes. Because I have 2 species. One species, this is Madagascar cockroach, the big one, without wings, which is crawling very well, and name is hissing cockroach. because Madagascar cockroach can make a noise. And some another species, this is so-called funny Archimandrid cockroach, which is not hissing, but very big one and with nice wings and can fly relatively short distances, by the way. I have also here some Lucanidae family, stag beetles from Ukraine. Just common species in Ukraine and some other countries of Europe. Stag beetle, which is named in Latin Lucanocervus stag beetle. In Ukrainian, we have a name as a deer beetle because so big horns. These horns can be very different depending on the size of a beetle, and these are males with long horns. So stag beetles are very funny. It's not quite easy to find them because we have a limited amount of old trees in the city, in parks. Of old trees are gradually destroyed in parks. So that's why these beetles, they have no natural habitat. Mostly they inhabit in some trees, in some natural parks. But even in parks and in reserves, all trees are gradually used for commerce, by the way, for business. They are sold somewhere. So all these beetles, their larvae are losing their natural environment, their natural food, like in old trees. So that's why it's not easy to find them. Oh yes, that's right, someone is funny is talking me that you're buying herrings in these boxes. Yes, sometimes you can do it. I'm not buying herring fish in the shop in this because it's expensive and too salty. I have bought it before when they have been available in the market. Now they are not available in the market because they have been produced in Kyiv city. And now some business in Ukraine has been stopped because of a military situation now. And so these boxes are not available anymore. Only in some shops, by the way. As I said, horns can be very different. So I can show you their difference, their variety. For example, here, these horns have been collected just nearby the trees because males of stag beetles were fighting they make it during the competition with another beetles for female, and after mating, or just gradually and obviously they're dying. So you can find the beetles as dead bodies near trees. So it's possible to collect just horns. Other birds or animals were not feeding on the horns. You see here, beetles are different and their horns are different. These are big beetles, and here you can see horns of different beetles, but the same species. Why? You see here, some horns are huge, some are smaller, even in the upper part, some horns is really very small. Alright, someone saying that some of boxes available in Dnipro city. That's a good idea. I can check internet, by the way. And you can see here, one horn here between two big ones are really tiny. The tiniest one, why they are so tiny? Beetles are not growing as adults because they are holometabole, they are pupated, and after that adults of beetles are not growing. So that's what you can say, why these horns are so tiny? Because larva was very tiny. Larva has been living in just not comfortable conditions. Maybe too hot, too wet, too dry place. So that's why she pupated. and she became adult as a small-sized adult. So small-sized adult and small male had a very tiny mandibles or horns, and larvae which have been growing slowly and gradually in a very good comfortable conditions became the biggest with biggest horns like that. So that's why here all these horns which attached to the head of Lucanus cervus star beetle became so huge and awesome. Thank you for your gifts and your attention. Write your question as well, not only about fish and boxes, but something about insects as well, or maybe about science, about scientists or entomologists as well, or maybe about expeditions, if you have seen some funny animals or insects somewhere in Ukraine, or maybe in other parts of the world, if you have been traveling somewhere else. I have another beetles here. I have another. All right. Well, another moths here. Some moths are stored here. Some. Death head moth, family Sphingidae, and some other Sphingidae. Hawk moth, family Sphingidae, not only one. You see here, two different species of Sphingidae, with black wings and yellow second pair of wings. This is Acherontiatropus Latin name, or death head moth, very famous one because of the Silence of Lambs movie. And another species with very long proboscis, very tiny needle which is attached head. This is a mouth part which is very long, longer than the body of hawk moth, and two another small species of another family in the center. These are moths of family Sphingidae with very narrow wings. They're flying very quickly. Sometimes they're flying near flowers like a hummingbird. Because they can move very quickly by their wings. So these are insect moths of the family Sphingidae, hawk moths. The biggest one, this is a death head moth, Acherontiatropus, collected in Ukraine. She is living in Ukraine, can develop as a caterpillar, can pupate, and pupa can go underground to the soil. But Acherontiatropus are not surviving in Ukraine because cold temperature, and even now today, -9 degrees below zero, -9 degrees. It's too cold for this moth, so she will not survive. So every year, the small population of this deathhead moth, the biggest one in this jar, are coming from southern places, like from Bulgaria, Romania, from Turkish Republic. They're flying across Ukraine up to the northern places, Chernihiv and other northern cities in Ukraine. Someone is saying, I love insects, absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your curiosity. Thank you very much for your interest in zoology and entomology. If someone is not understanding English language, that's no problem. You can write your question in other languages, because this stream is devoted to biologists and entomologists and scientists and students and ordinary people who is interested in nature. Because ordinary people are not collecting insects. Ordinary people are watching social media. Maybe some ordinary people are watching television. But if you are living in a village in Ukraine, if you are living somewhere in a village near this forest, sometimes these wonderful beetles, these awesome, brilliant, fantastic, absolutely amazing beetles are common, and they are flying in the direction of light in June, July months in the summer. These beetles have been collected as dead bodies near the host plant in the big forest. No, these boxes are intended for collecting beetles, especially because they're very carefully closed. It's very important to keep collection of insects in very safe conditions, because boxes must be not from paper, boxes can be either wooden or plastic, without crevices, without small distances between upper part and down part of a box, because some tiny pests like dermestidae, beetles, larvae can come inside the box and can eat the collection of beetles, butterflies, and other insects in collection. That's why plastic boxes is extremely useful. They're very tough, they're easily closed, and they're closed very carefully without any crevices between parts of this box. So that's why only I can recommend these boxes for your collection as well. They are not humid in collection, they are very dry, because you need to dry collection during the summer period or using the drying machine to dry them completely, because they are stored as a dry inside the box, so they are not damaged by molting, by fungi, by humidity. Especially if they are closed inside plastic, they will not be damaged by humidity inside your room during the period of stock. If they are stored in a carton boxes, in a paper boxes, they will be damaged definitely by dermestidae beetles or by humidity, and fungi will be growing on beetles, and collection will be destroyed, despite you will spend a lot of time for collecting, but collection will be destroyed and lost completely. So you will be losing collection and also time of the collecting. So that's why this box is very useful against humidity. Someone is keeping tea. Why not? You can keep whatever you want. If you want to ask your question in chat room, just go there to this angle, click on this button, red and blue man, and you can ask question aloud if you want. I'm not quite sure, but you can do it. I'm trying to invite some people, by the way, but I'm not quite sure who can come, because people didn't knock in the chat room. Okay, no problem, Lucid English. If you will invent your request, your question or funny one, join the stream and join the chat. Yes, I do not sell these beetles. I do not sell any of my beetles and any specimens of my collection, because they are intended for demonstration, for education, and also for outreach activity. This is a public activity in internet and in person. Sometimes I'm making lectures for students of universities, colleges, and for sure privately. Here openly, not privately, openly, online with large audience of people worldwide. As internet and this platform indicated, over 100 countries are watching this platform and have been visiting my presentations and my video on this vertical stream entity platform. Welcome to write your questions. Don't worry about your accent, don't worry about mistakes, don't worry about your lost thoughts as well. Ask what do you want. What about another orders? Another orders, I have some parasitoids also in my boxes. But as you say, parasitoids are very tiny. No, they're not tiny sometimes. Some parasitoids belonging to another superfamily, Ichneumonidae, Ichneumon, or Darwin wasps. Darwin wasps, because many species have been collected in tropical regions. They have a big size, and some unique Darwin wasps are living in Ukraine. The biggest of them, they have name like Megascole, they have name Megarissa, biggest rissa. Big Megarissa, they are parasitoids of horntails. And I'm trying to open the box. They're toughly closed, it's very important, so that's why I'm opening them with some strength, because they're closed very toughly, very carefully. I will search for cockroaches, don't worry. And these are very delicate insects, very narrow one, very tiny one. No, they are not tiny. The narrow, slender body, 3 centimeters and slender horn, but this is not a horn, like a needle, the slender needle. This is ovipositor. This is long ovipositor, so total length is about 6 centimeters, 60 millimeters. They are belonging to genus Megarissa. They are parasitoids of horntails larvae, or sawflies larvae of the same order Hymenoptera. They are living inside rotten trees. So that's why they are infesting some larvae inside trees, inside the wood. That's why they need like a saw to use their ovipositor. They're drilling the wood with their very long, very strong ovipositor. And in the time when we are drilling the wood, they're moving slowly and they're sitting carefully on the bark of trees, so they're available to be collected. Otherwise, despite their very big size, they're very active and flying extremely quickly. I tried to catch them when they were flying, but I was hunting for them just near the beech trees, near my house, sometimes in the summertime, and I collected them on beech tree and on a plum tree, just on the bark of trees during their oviposition. Yes, they're parasitizing and laying eggs inside living larvae under the bark of trees, inside the wood, deeply inside the wood. These are Megarissa. We have about 6-7 species of Megarissa in the fauna of Ukraine. So that's why they need precise identification, and specialist on this group is working in our department in Kyiv, in our department of taxonomy of entomophagous insects and ecological principles of biological control, because many of these tiny and big parasitoids can be used for biological control of pests and different weeds in the wild and in agriculture and forestry. I've never been buying these bugs, wasps and hornets and butterflies and beetles. I have some gifts from my friends, from devoted entomologists, from devoted amateurs, who gave me kindly some gifts of some butterflies from their collections, or either I collected all these insects by my hands. I have my hands and have my entomological skills, so I can collect them myself, and I'm doing that, and I'm mounting them myself as well. These tiny parasitoids, these big parasitoids, to be precise by the way, they are big, 6 centimeters size. I collected myself in a region of Darnitsa in Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. I can speak English, Ukrainian and Russian if you want. Do you need to speak German, French, Italian, Spanish, Romanian, Belgian, Dutch, or just Norwegian one? I hope so that English one is good enough for communication in this stream at least. But we can speak also in Chinese and Japanese in separate video if you do like. Yes, someone asking where I am. Yes, I'm living in Darnitsa region in Ukraine, and yesterday, for sure if you are in Kyiv, you can recognize that yesterday was a heavy day for people who are living in Darnitsa region and all Kyiv as well, because yesterday we had very noisy night. Midnight was very noisy because of a lot of explosions, a lot of drones, a lot of bloody missiles, a lot of explosions, and actually a lot of irritation for civilians. A little irritation by the huge sounds of explosions. You can understand what I'm talking about. And an irritation because of shaking of your private and multi-floor buildings. My building in my region also have been shaking 3 or 4 times like that, together with my sofa and all walls together. But fortunately everything was all right. At least now, because nobody knows what's going on. We live in here and now. We believe in here and now for our country. If you are just from another country, don't worry about it. We're intended in our speech, in our presentations, for people who is living in Ukraine and who can understand English and who is now in other countries as well. So you see here 3 different families of moths. These are different families. The tiniest one, this is tiny Lycenidae. The big one with gray wings and blue strip or white strip, you say. This is a family Noctuidae. And this one, this is a Acherontiatropus, deathhead moth of family hawk moths or Sphingidae. Quite a big one, about 7 centimeters, with open wings, and body is about 40-45 millimeters length, with white or just yellow spots on the thorax, like skull. So this is a yellow spot, looks like a head of animal, of human. That's why the name deathhead moth. Quite a rare species in Ukraine, but can be collected in the wild as well. And this species of deathhead moth is used for breeding in laboratory. So one of my friends from Ukraine is breeding them in laboratory, and I have been feeding caterpillars myself at home, at my home laboratory. So that's why I got some adults for my collection as well. And even one pupa of this biggest moth here is still sleeping in my house, in my room, and waiting for hatching, for emergence, waiting for emergence. Maybe one couple days later, I can catch the process of emergence. Deathhead moth is emerging in night time. I have been recording several times the emergence of deathhead moth, the big one, like that. This is an Acherontiatropus. This one. I recorded the emergence online on my big channel in internet with red button. So these are three families: Sphingidae, Noctuidae, and Lycaenidae. Very nice. Daily butterflies, Lycaenidae, and night moths, Noctuidae and Sphingidae. And very important to close boxes toughly, carefully, for protection against dermestid pests. And here I have some funniest hornets. Funniest but dangerous one. I collected these beetles myself, but this one I got as a gift. Gift for study, for investigation, for taking photographs. Because this species is not available in Ukraine, not yet. Because this hornet is a very special one. This hornet is a yellow-legged hornet, or species Vespa velutina. Vespa velutina. This is invasive species of hornet. What do I mean? This species came from Southeast Asia to Europe, and these several individuals were in my collection from France. This is a gift from my friend in France. This is yellow-legged hornet Vespa velutina. On a short distance, it looks like a hornet, like a common one, but this is Vespa velutina nigrothorax. So thorax is a dark one, head is a dark and yellow. So one hornet hunter collected it and gave me it as a gift. Dead individuals for sure. In France, this species occupied all territory of France. Now this species is spread on the half territory of Europe, up to the middle of Germany, up to the coast of Germany in the Baltic Sea, up to the Frankfurt, Hamburg, and this species is even was found last year, 2025, in Slovakia, near Czechia, in 400 kilometers near Ukraine. This very difficult for controlled species, invasive species from Southeast Asia. That's why this invasive species is very dangerous for beekeeping industry in France, in other countries of Europe, and it will be very dangerous pest if it will migrate to Ukraine and other countries as well. This species is spreading very quickly, naturally, without help of humans, logging, without cars and trains, and without airplanes as well. About 40-90 kilometers every year, this species is spreading forward from the border of its local distribution in Europe. It was found already in Britain from time to time. Over 50 nests have been destroyed in England last season. Over 150 nests have been destroyed in Germany because this species became widely distributed in Germany. Can you imagine? Only more than 150 nests, big one, have been collected and annihilated in Germany. But how many nests have not been found? Maybe, and should be, they're still in the forests in Germany, where nature conservation is developed very well. So they can survive despite the huge activities against them in Germany and other countries. This species is already have been found in Greece, on more than 12 islands of Greece in South Europe. Some records of them have been done in Romania. So who knows how quickly this species can be spreading to the east to the north, and which, yeah, this species can be found in Ukraine and neighboring countries as well. There is opportunity, there is a highly probability of invasion of this species, Vespa velutina, to Ukraine as well. Some scientific prognosis have been done, and temperature and climate and changes of climate and temperature in Ukraine during the spring, summer and autumn season is suitable for survival of this invasive, dangerous species of Vespa velutina in the territory of Ukraine and neighboring countries as well. Welcome to join our stream. Welcome to support us by your beloved gifts. Press making likes on this stream, and this stream we are talking in English. If you do like, join our conversation, join our discussion, write your question in English or other language as well. And this stream is devoted to insects, science of entomology, and this stream from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. You can join the team of our sponsors if you can click on the link up where just near my photograph, Dr. Viktor Fursov, to find links to my social media and to find link to my Monobank, so you can support me not only by your like, but also by your bank card, sending small or big or lovely support to Monobank, which is working very well in Ukraine. And this will be your sponsorship, will be greatly appreciated from my sincere heart. I would say thank you very much indeed. This your tiny support will be really used for development of the science in Ukraine, for development of my presentations in different languages on social media, for nature conservation and for outreach activity and for education of people in nature conservation. So welcome to visit my sponsorship links here up where indicated in my bio link. Here there are some 12 social media with information about my activities, about my publications, because I'm a researcher, I'm scientist, I'm entomologist, I'm beekeeper and teacher, and some of my scientific presentations, some scientific articles, publications have been uploaded for many years on ResearchGate website, famous and common one for scientists, but not familiar for ordinary people. And website Academia Edu is also presenting scientific publications of scientists as well. And I have Academia Edu webpage as well. So you can find it and the link up where. And link for sponsorship here up where. The easiest way, this is a Monobank for sponsorship. Or you can visit big channel with 10,000 videos with red button, very famous tuber channel. I have this as well. Cassandra, what country are you coming from? Cassandra, where you are? Write what city, what country are you from? I'm working in the Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences in Ukraine, in Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. I'm a research entomologist, senior research scientist. I'm studying parasitic wasps, which are used in biological control against agricultural and forestry pests and against weeds in Ukraine and in other countries of the world as well. The most famous biocontrol agent in biological control, this is a tiny parasitic wasp for genus Trichogramma, very tiny, just half of millimeter size. This biological control agent is breeding, rearing in laboratories, and used in agriculture against some pests on cornfields, in apple trees, for orchards, and against some vegetable pests in agricultural fields. Cassandra, you didn't write your question, you didn't answer for my question about where you are from. So maybe you are not a real person. So, or you're just afraid to indicate the country where I'm from. If someone is watching us from Ukraine and can understand what I'm talking about, you can write your feedback here down where in the chart. What city are you from? What city are you looking for my presentations here in English language? Probably you're from Ukraine, because this social media is localized, by the way, by computer and by servers. This social media is showing 90% of video for local audience. So 90% is from Ukraine. So write here, what city are you from in Ukraine? Or maybe another country. Which city? Are you from Kharkiv? Are you from Odessa? Are you from Kyiv? Right here in chat, don't worry about it. From Ismail, hello to city Ismail, best greetings Valerie. Thank you for feedback. What in other cities are watching us? Sometimes many people are coming from different cities. Hello Mykolaiv city, thank you, very nice. Voskresenka, I'm not quite sure. This is a Kyiv. Voskresenka region. Shumsk, what is about city Shumsk? I have never been hearing about such city. Where it is? Maybe in some northern territories. I think so. What about in other cities in Ukraine? Did you understand me? Are you understanding me? Write your city here. Or you can talk with me in a voice here in the chat. Right here, just in the chat. What cities are watching us from Ukraine? In Ukraine and maybe in Europe or maybe other countries as well. Sometimes we have been chatting with people with other countries. Kremenets, for sure. Kremenets, this is we can say, little bit western part of Ukraine, if I'm right. This is a Khmelnytsk district, maybe near Khmelnytsk, or I'm not quite sure about it. Kremenets. Kremenets is a nice name of Ukrainian city, for sure. We have been talking with some visitors from Germany, from Italy, from France. Sometimes our friends from Morocco is coming. Hello to Chernivtsin, Ulyana. Hello to Ulyana. Best greetings to Kyiv, to Vinogradar region. Yes, people know that yesterday, even in Vinogradar and other regions in Kyiv, we had a very troubling time. It was a really difficult time in Kyiv. Was very noisy, firing everywhere, shaking buildings, a lot of explosions because of drones and bloody missiles came to Ukraine yesterday in the midnight between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. morning time. Hello to Dnipro city, hero Dnipro city. Best greetings. Yes, it's a great pleasure to see here some feedback from our audience. Yes, so not many as usual if I'm talking not in English, but today we have training in English language for English-speaking audience, by the way, for English-speaking people, not only in Ukraine, but also in other countries, because I will be making copy of this video and I will upload it on a big channel with red button in horizontal region. Hello to city Ternopil, best greetings. Yes, someone is asking which languages I can speak. Yes, for sure I can speak Ukrainian, but today we have communication in English. This is English lesson training, by the way. So If you are in Ukraine, you need to be closer to Europe, to America, to England, to Ireland. You need to speak English. You can develop your English speaking skills. You need to develop your skills to communicate with people all around the world. Someone asking, how was my day? My day was more or less okay, but it was no, and there is no heating in my building where I'm living. But fortunately we have electricity now. Our hot water is stopped, but we have cold water, fortunately, that's fine. And we have gas in our region, that's fine. So we are appreciative of activities done by some specialists and administration to restore these damaged facilities and infrastructure in Kyiv, because yesterday was very noisy midnight. Because we're living in a very troubling time, troubling days, troubling nights, with a lot of troubles and problems. Not problems, but with explosions. What's the kind of problem? It's not a problem. This is a great danger. Everyone is living under the danger every day. Here and now in Ukraine, here and now in Kyiv as well. And some people who are living somewhere in California, in Florida, in Alaska, in Western Europe, in somewhere in Sicily, in Italy or France, in Alicante, or in Alanya in the Turkish Republic, people just were enjoying themselves. But in Ukraine, people either fighting, or surviving, or just working, or making some kind of a entertainment for a large audience like I'm doing now here in evening time. Don't be crazy because of such a crazy time all around the world. And I'm pleased to show you part of my collection for devoted biologists, for devoted entomologists, for lovers of insects. Because here I can show you some beetles, some bees, and even some mantis. Big male of mantis. Green one, this is a mantis. Big black beetle, this is a Hydrophilus hydrophilidae diving beetle. This is not Dytiscus, this is Hydrophilidae, and some Scarabeid beetles as well. I cannot make huge magnification on a screen because otherwise box will close my face and my voice will not be clear, but I can show it listed the closer to the screen. Thank you for gifts. Send in gifts if you do like biology, if you do like science, because I'm a researcher, I'm a scientist. I'm studying insects and science of entomology and biology. And I'm making this presentation in my free time to entertain young college students, to make some scientific explanations of some nature events with insects, with animals, with nature, for different audience in English, in Ukrainian, and in Russian as well. Someone asking quite crazy question about present situation, Cassandra, but you didn't say what city are you coming from, or what country are you watching us from, Cassandra. I'm afraid probably you're from Northern Territories. You're not from Ukraine. You're not from Antarctic. You're not from Arctic. You're not from Greenland. And maybe not from Ukraine. So that's why this question is not belonging to me. Even it's written in English. Here, mantis religiosa male, and this is a big diving beetle family, Hydrophilidae. And big beetle with open wings, this is a scarab beetles. Someone is asking for you usually about English. To study English, you need to be devoted English studying person. Cassandra is from Ukraine. Yes, but what place in Ukraine? This is not answer. So I know that probably you're joking. You're not from Ukraine. To know English, you need to study it either from youngest age, in kindergarten, or just from the young age in a school, in university, and all another time after university during your business, during your scientific activities. So this is a long time process. This is continuing process. All time you're talking in foreign language, all time you're studying it, all time you are developing in your skills in English or another foreign language. All right, Nikita, hello to Dnipro City. Best greetings to Dnipro City. Yes, I'm living in Kyiv. You can recognize here on the title of this video. You can see up part of this screen. It's written Dr. Viktor Fursov is talking about insects. And this stream live. This is not recorded mode. This is a live from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. And where are you from? I missed who was asking it. The black beetle, black bug, this is a big hydrophilus diving beetle family, Hydrophilidae. But this is not predaceous beetle. This is a diving beetle which is feeding on plants in a lake, in a stream, in a pond, because there are two different beetles, predaceous diving beetles, Dytiscidae, and diving beetles, Hydrophilidae. Dytiscidae, these are predaceous beetles, and Hydrophilidae were phytophagous beetles. But the larvae of both families are predaceous. That's correct. In these boxes I have also some bees and bumblebees as well. What's about questions? These insects asking someone around the mantis, do they have anything in common with the mantis? No, they have nothing common in mantis. They just filled the box because I needed to put them for safety in a box. That's why I put them together for safety and just for demonstration. I'm talking in English, by the way. If you want to visit my videos in Ukrainian, you can visit my channel on Tuber channel with red button. Welcome to my big channel. You can use my name, type in internet Dr. Viktor Fursov, add in Ukrainian or just in English, and the word entomologist. You can find more than 1,000 videos about English, about travels, about foreign countries, about insects and biology on the field of, on a huge field of internet. Someone asking, as I understood you have some sort of a biological degree. Yes, if I'm doctor, so for sure I doctor of philosophy in biology. This is not my hobby, this is my profession. Hobby if I'm doing it in a free time after my job. I'm doing the study of insects during my whole job time and after the job time. In my free time, the hobby is just making videos. That's right. In my scientific activities, I'm studying morphology, taxonomy, systematics, biology, behavior of insects, parasitic wasps, and my responsibility is to publish scientific papers. These are my professional activities. And this tiny and funny collection which I'm showing you, this is my hobby. Just for demonstration in my outreach activities or just to attract attention of different people to nature conservation and to reduce the fears of beetles, butterflies, moths, hornets, wasps, fears of insects in a public sphere. So people maybe will not be afraid of insects after some lectures or can ask something funny because we will get some little bit more education in science. So that's why this outdoor activity, this is my scientific hobby after my professional work. Someone asking again, do I have any hobbies which are not related to insects? Well. My another hobby was, for instance, there was an exchange by letters with some correspondents worldwide. In old time, it was possible to write letters for some correspondents in other countries. So I exchanged by letters and exchanged by post stamps with my correspondents all around the world. Sometimes I did it with my scientific colleagues. I sent more than 365 letters every year, but now I'm sending more emails for my friends and colleagues. So collecting post stamps is also my kind of hobby. I have some big books with different stamps from Europe, from Asia, from America, and some of them pretty valuable, and some of them are very memorable for me, where they have been bought in different countries. Here, the biggest one in this box, these are queens of a Bombus terrestris ground bumblebee, Bombus terrestris. And big bees are here. These are males or drones of a honeybee, Apis mellifera. Just to show the difference between bees and to show the difference between drones of males of honeybees, differences between drones and workers or females of honeybees. Because here, easy to take this box in hands and to watch it at a close distance, just near the face. For students, it's easier to study them in hands. And also one individual here, this is a bumblebee. And one small one, honeybee worker. I also spread these beetles and bumblebees myself. I collected them myself. I spread wings, legs, put the very correct position of body. Even I show here the ovipositor or sting of these queens. I collected these queens in late autumn, where they have been flying on some flowers, because in late autumn, if they are flying too late autumn, it means they are not fertilized, and probably they will be dying late autumn. Because if they are not fertilized, if they have not found drones or males of bumblebees, they will be died unfertilized. Because usually bumblebees, queens, if they are flying and they will find drone, male of bumblebee, they are mating for a short period, for 10-15 minutes. And after that, bumblebee queens are hiding underground immediately. They are not flying around for the last days of September, October. After mating, queens are going to hide underground, under leaves, under some crevices, in some tiny nests underground, under stones. That's why if you can see in late September, in early October, too late autumn, flying bumblebees, it means they are virgin bumblebee queens. And probably they will fly gradually, but eventually. Not without reason, but without mating. Yes, we have a very interesting, intriguing question about how many species of bumblebees have been found in Ukraine. This is very good question. This is very precise question. To be correct, according to experts of apidologists in Ukraine, 44 species of bumblebees of the genus Bombus and Psittyrus are living in Ukraine. You cannot imagine, not 3 species, not 5, not 10, but 44 species in Crimea, in southern Ukraine, in northern Ukraine, in eastern Ukraine, in western Ukraine. Totally Up to now, experts say 44 species of bumblebees have been recorded in Ukraine. So unique number of species. But you can say another question, how many wild species of bees are living in Ukraine? This is another question, very interesting one. How many are wild species of bees? Not only honeybee. Honeybee, this is only one species. Plus 44 bumblebees. By the way, this is another very important question and very important answer. More than 800 species of wild bees have been recorded in Ukraine. Enormous number, fantastic number, but this is true. This number has been indicated in scientific publications of our entomologists, our experts of bees in Ukraine. So this is not imagination, this is nearly precise answer. More than 800 species of bees in Ukraine. Someone is saying, I have seen a green bumblebee. I'm afraid probably green it was not a bumblebee. Greenish little bit, or yellowish, or maybe it was a green moth. Some moths of a hawk moths, they have a green coloration, by the way. Making here repost and write your comments. If you are making likes, you're just helping to our stream to be shown in other places by internet. If you are just writing comments, it's also initiate more activities on our channel. So write your comments under these lines in different languages. You can write your questions in English, in Ukrainian, in Russian, or other languages as well. I can use a Google Translator. Because I hope so some people in Ukraine can understand English, and some people in Europe and America and Africa and Southeast Asia and Australia could understand the recorded video, which will be deposited later on another channel, YouTube channel with red button in computer. But you can see it later also in smartphone as well, because the audience of people who is speaking, listening English and watching English lectures is different audience. Here is one audience, computer different audience. What's about Hungary? Oh, you're from Hungary? Okay, you're really welcome. Yes, someone, Cassandra, asking. Yes, I have this channel. Write my name in internet, Entomologist, Victor Fursov, and you can find my channel. A lot of my different videos. And also indication for my Monobank as well, under the description of each video. And my Monobank is indicated here for our sponsors. If someone would like to be sponsored from your country. If you are somewhere in Hungary, in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Spain, in Portugal, enjoying nice weather somewhere in Turkish Republic or in Africa, somewhere in Egypt or Israel. Why not? Temperature is higher in south areas, in southern countries. And I think some people are enjoying themselves in Florida, in California, and other places in Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Bolivia, and Brazil. Yes, I'm trying to talk with different people. This speech is devoted to entomology, science about insects, for English-speaking audience. If you do like to, I will tell you some stories slowly, like slow tape recorder. But I'm not tape recorder. I'm just a living person. That's why I can speak quickly. Because I have knowledge, I have skills, I have some opportunities to communicate with different people who can understand quick speech and slow speech as well. I cannot answer by typing because on smartphone I cannot type my message because I'm translating on a smartphone, not on a computer. Cassandra is very interested in my biography, for instance, asking about how many countries I have been visiting during my career. Yeah, well, this is a good question, which is you can find some more details on internet on my websites here, Wikipedia as well. But I can say I have been visiting, and I have visited 15 countries up to now. Maybe more I will visit after the war. So this answer. Write you another questions, or you can, if you are interested in insects, in biology, in entomology and zoology as well. Or if you are interested in Ukraine, ask some questions about Ukraine. Why not? Someone asking about level of English. I passed the kind of a IELTS exam on a 7.5. I think it's good enough. What about exotic insects? I have showed already some tropical beetles in my collection. In my early part of my speech. So I guess they're exotic. And some of these tiny Vespa velutina, it's also not too much exotic, but these are invasive insects, invasive species. I don't have actually such exotic like bullet ant, for instance. Phaneroptera falcata, for instance. This is not a real ant, like a bullet ant. But hopefully I will have some bullet ants soon, and I can show them you under the microscope. As one of my teachers actually said, to be good scientists working in the science of entomology and biology, it's quite important to know at least 2 foreign languages. But if you know more than 2 languages, it's also quite a good situation. If you have opportunity to learn English and German, just learn it. If you have opportunity to learn English and French, just learn it. Because it will be additional opportunity to communicate with a larger audience, to get more opportunities to find job, collaboration, communication with different people as biologist, as a businessman, or use it your English or foreign language skills for development of your either career, business or job activities. I have no idea about ants' danger of sugar for ants. It depends from ants. It depends. Some ants can use sugar, liquid, some ants cannot use it. Maybe too much sugar. So you can use not sugar because saccharose. This is liquid of sugar, and you can use glucose for feeding insects. Why not? Feeding insects, ants, and others with honey. Honey is the best. Honey has less saccharose, but more fructose and glucose, so which can be more useful for feeding insects. So far, so good. Have you seen hornets in your city? Have you seen hornets in your village? Have you seen hornets in the last season of summer or autumn? Hornets have not been so common in this summer and autumn in Kyiv. A couple of years ago, I've seen them everywhere and quite common in Kyiv. But this summer was either too hot or too wet, with more humidity, but not many hornets have been indicated by me or other people in Kyiv. But by the way, in September, I have seen them in some parks. I have seen some males, drones of hornets near Taras Shevchenko Park in the center of city, and also near Metro University and near Mina Botanical Garden. I have seen drones of hornets. So hornets probably have been living in a park like Taras Shevchenko Park and Botanical Garden in some natural areas, in some natural holes and trees. If we are living in natural place, little bit out of humans, we are not irritating humans, we can survive without any troubles and do not make any troubles for humans around, because they are feeding on insects, they are not stealing honey. In a city, there are very few honeybees nests in a city, so we can use natural population of different pests in parks, in botanical gardens and other places around, green areas around. What about question about bees? What kind of bees do I have? Someone is asking about bees. If you love bees and ants, that's great. That's a good question about do I have a home in a countryside? No, I don't have a countryside house, which is called in Ukrainian dacha. I don't have this one because it needs just spending money and receiving just a free time, little bit free time to spend all free time in a countryside house, and no feedback, no profit, just little bit relaxation or no relaxation at all. So that's why home in a countryside, this is a questionable idea, by the way. That's the same like to have a car in Ukraine. If you have a car and you don't have a business, your car is just only spending your money. If your car is not used for business, car is not giving you a profit, car is just spending money from your profit or from your salary. But scientist usually has a profit only salary, not many profit outside, or not at all. Someone is asking about favorite insects. My favorite insect. My favorite insect is actually belonging to tiny parasitic wasps. As I said, these are tiny parasitic wasps of a family of a superfamily Chalcidoidea. They are parasitoids of different insects. So my favorite insects, these are egg parasitoids. I'm studying them. That's why they are my favorite. Some of them, these tiny parasitoids, they are actually not visible because they are practically invisible because of their tiny size. Their size is just 1 millimeter or half of millimeter, and they are flying around, and people are not seeing them at all because they are flying here around passively or actively using their wings despite their very tiny size of half of millimeter. They are jumping, they are like a small tiny drops just in a book. You can see drop, but you cannot recognize this tiny drop can be living. They are flying like a tiny mites in the air, using their wings in air, underwater as well, and they are belonging to Chalcid wasps. Some of my favorite insects, so tiny, like this one. This is a tiny tiniest insect. 0.2 millimeters, very tiny wasp, which looks like a bumblebee or looks like a honeybee. The same structure, because this is a order Hymenoptera, and this is a genus Megaphragma, unique smallest microscopic insect. It's microscopic parasitoid. This is a parasitoid of a size of unicellular organism, unicellular infusoria, unicellular amoeba organism. But she is a multicellular, very complicated organism. The same size as a one-cellular organism. This is unique situation. And the genus Megaphragma of a family Trichogrammatidae, which I am studying, which I am just researching during many years, and the results of this research are indicated in my publications, in scientific literature, in scientific articles. Yes, 0.2 millimeters, tiny insects, but they are very funny and very, very interesting because they're parasitoids of thrips. You may know thrips as pests of your flowers at home, but thrips are not so huge, populated somewhere outside in temperate regions. And parasitoids are very tiny, so they have not been recorded yet in Ukraine. But they have been recorded in other tropical, semi-tropical countries, and even this parasitoid 0.2 millimeter was recently found in Poland. So I suggest, I preliminarily think, and I'm quite sure that this insect can be found in Carpathian region and in Crimea as well. I have been studying yellow pen traps in Crimea, but I didn't find this insect, but in some Carpathian samples. Maybe we can check them during this year. Maybe these insects can be found in Ukraine as well. Unique one, Megaphragma, 0.2 millimeters. Unique, absolutely unique insect. And distributed all around the world. In Europe, in Northern Africa, in South Africa, in North America, in South America, in Australia and in New Zealand, and little bit known from Southeast Asia. Interesting question is going to be here in a chart about the biggest insect in my collection. That's a good question, by the way. Okay, if you have this question, I can show you this insect. Because this is a big one. Big one, it's much easier to show. Because the smallest one I can show only in a picture, by the way, or under the microscope. But at the present moment, I'm just at home, not without my microscope. Because my microscope is a job. Here I have my part of my collection, just demonstrational part. But my microscope is working at my laboratory in Kyiv. But some of the biggest insects are still here in a big collection box. And this is the biggest insect. And this insect is not published in some Ukrainian journals. So it's written here like Kyiv chicken. Kyiv chicken. These are not girls. These are not girls and men. Yes, yes. These are not another lovely girls. No, no, no. These are not about girls. This is about butterflies. Some big butterflies. Not this kind of a butterflies. Not these night moths. Another night moths are available in a big drawing box, which I'm going to show you. Do you like it? Write in feedback, which city are you watching me? Which city are you coming from to our chat? Maybe some new people were coming during my presentation. And I will show you my insect. Okay. Some people from Lviv are watching us. Hello to Lviv. Hello to Lviv, best greetings to Lviv. What in other cities are watching us? Makfanchik, best greetings to city of Odessa. Best greeting to city hero of Odessa. And biggest insects are coming. Kyiv is here, great. The biggest insects are coming to the state, to our insect show. And this is the biggest insect in my collection, I guess so. And this is Attacus lorquini, the Saturniidae moth, family Saturniidae, from Philippines Islands. Hello to Frankivsk. What another city is watching us? Where are you from? Write in comments which city are you coming from, and I will show you big insects in my collection. Yes, these are beautiful butterflies in my collection. The biggest one, this is a female. The smaller one, this is a male. Best greetings to Atlanta in Georgia in USA. Hello, Project Reptilia. Yes, I do remember you. Best greetings to Project Reptilia. Best greetings to USA. Someone is watching us from States as well. Yes, this is actually, I have not collected it. It was bred, it was reared in Ukraine. My friend, this is a gift of my friend from Ukraine. I really appreciate his kindness, his support, his devotion in entomology. So he gave us these 3 very interesting, nice moths as a gift for demonstration for students and our internet audience as well. Attacus lorquini from Philippines, and another Saturniidae, small one in another wall. This is a Rothschildia, smaller one. This is a nephew, but another species, another genus, Rothschildia. Rothschildia is from South America, from Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela. Yes, this is from the same Venezuela, as you know from latest news. This small Saturniidae moth. Big one female, small one male. Between them, this is a Papilionidae, family Papilionidae, Papilio hybrid. And of course another insects as well. These are some green caucus, some green mantis, not native species from Ukraine, came from Caucasus to Ukraine. Also new species, new invasive species. And some big stick insects. Big stick insects. Yes, this is my own collection. I'm owner of this collection. This is my hobby collection, by the way. Smallest here, these are deathhead moths, Acherontiatropus, and some Saturniidae as well. Some Saturnia from eastern part of Palearctic region. What means how old is my collection? Some insects have been collected even more than 20 years ago. Some insects younger. Some insects were collected a couple years ago, but some more than 20 years ago. So here I show you some Saturnia and some stick insects. These are not they're not pencils, but these are stick insects. Smallest one, this is a black one near my hand. These are Phasma from Peru, and a gray one, these are from Philippines as well, I guess so. Yes, from Philippines. They have no wings, but Peruvian species, Phasma, have small red wings. Well, very interesting question about have I been in Mauritius? No, I have never been in Mauritius. Thank you for pleasant question, but I have never been in this Why did you ask you? Are you living over there? Somewhere in the Mediterranean region? Or you just visited this nice place? With nice climate? Maybe you are enjoying some time over there now? In Mauritius? Richester asks us about Mauritius. Another question, do you know some interesting facts about behavior of bees or ants? How are their societies organized? That's a good question indeed about bees and ants. We can be talking for hours about bees and ants. And these are common questions, by the way, for discussion. We can talk a little bit about that in few sentences, by the way. Couple minutes, by the way. Because we don't have couple hours for lecture about bees and ants, because this video is already going to be probably more than 1 hour, I guess. And bees are interesting insects and ants as well. We can talk about them in a special video regarding bee societies and ant societies. If you know about them, they are social insects. And bees can be social and can be solitary bees. And they can be also parasitic bees, which are living on another bees. And ants are social insects. There are no solitary ants, by the way. But they are belonging to the same order Hymenoptera. As social insects, social bees and social ants, they have a structure of their special structure of their society. Sometimes their society named like superorganism. And why? This is a special reason. Why social? While society of a... Just a minute. Right, like that. Why society of bees and wasps and bumblebees and ants is called as a superorganism? Because there are different castes, races, castes to be precise, of ants and bees. There is a queen bee, queen ant, and there are some worker bees and worker ants as well, which are working in a community, in a society, in a colony to be precise, not society, but colony. And these colonies consist of queen, drones, and workers. And they're genetically predominated to be either queen or workers or drones. Queens and workers, these are fertilized females. And drones, these are genetically different from females, because drones are born as a half genetical material of females from unfertilized eggs, and queens and workers are born from fertilized eggs. In ants, in wasps, in social bees, in social wasps, in bumblebees, and in ants colonies as well. So that's very specific biological feature, separate special features of ants colonies, bees colonies, and social wasps colonies, because wasps actually can be different as well. Wasps sometimes solitary wasps. There are some solitary wasps and there are some social wasps. And there are some parasitic wasps, like parasitoids, as I told before. Someone asking, no, I have not been collecting these insects. I didn't collect them. These species, these are gifts of my friend, an entomologist. They were bred, they were reared at laboratory, at home laboratory. These are Attacus lorquini, Papilionidae, Papilio, and small one, these are different species. Sphingidae, death-head hawkmoth, upware. On the upside, this is a death-head moth. Small one, this is a papilio hybrid between big Attacus and Attacus, the biggest one. This is a female, and the small one, this is a male. The question is about how it's possible to keep them in such good conditions. It depends from careful preservation. To keep them preserved, you need to use different insecticides to keep them inside safety, and some repellents, to put some repellents inside the box to avoid some beetles, to avoid and to kill some dermestid beetles. And also very important to close box toughly without any crevices, because if you will have here small crevices, little bit open pieces of box, some dangerous beetles of a family Dermestidae, or skin beetles, it's so-called skin beetles, will crawl inside, or larvae of them will crawl inside the box and will completely destroy your beautiful collection. In this case, extremely valuable, extremely beautiful, awesome, fantastic, lovely collection will be eaten by beetles, pests of a family Dermestidae, skin beetles. And if you think they are not available in your house, yes, they are. They're flying inside your house from outside, through the window, from your neighbors, just from the nature, from outside, from the street, through your balcony, through your kitchen, and hiding in some crevices in your living room, in your sleeping room, just near your shelves with your clothes. So usually skin beetles of family Dermestidae are available in your house, even if you are not thinking that they are here. They are living, they are waiting for you. They are waiting for food. And this food can be either some oats, some seeds, some other food in your kitchen, or it can be your collection, or it can be some herbs, some flowers, some spices in kitchen or in your stock as well. And these are lovely Attacus larquini, biggest one, this is a male, this is a female, and the smaller one, this is a female, biggest one female, and smaller one, this is a male. Sorry about that. And the small one between them, this is a papilio hybrid. What is the best repellent, is asking someone. Let's welcome to the shop and ask someone in a shop with chemicals, say, I need repellent. If you can find one, so buy it. This is just lavender repellent is the easiest and the most available in our shops. Don't use some strongest chemicals like naphthalene. Naphthalene, this is a very dangerous chemical from a past generation, which is still used in some museums worldwide, in some museums even in Turkish Republic, but it's extremely dangerous for health because strange, unpleasant smell, which will kill pests, but eventually can kill the owner as well. So don't use naphthalene because you can keep collection at home and it's not healthy. It's unhealthy to use naphthalene. But another repellents on a base of oils like lavender and another some mint oil and as well, and some pyrethroids, for instance. Pyrethroids are not so dangerous. Pyrethroids are just weak pesticides for humans, not so dangerous, but dangerous for beetles. Thank you for gifts. Welcome to send gifts to my channel. Welcome to become sponsor of my channel, to be sponsor and to be member of our fan clubs. it's necessary to send heart, I guess. So, and you will join our fan club as well. Today we have just limited audience. This is English speaking audience. Thank you for coming to our stream. Thank you for questions in English. Our friend from USA asking question. Can moths and butterflies be parasitic? Yes, very good question. Tricky question on knowledge. Whereas there is for instance, there is a species of night moth, which is actually parasitic on the body of some leafhoppers in Southeast Asia. And caterpillar is eating the body of leafhopper, a big Japanese zemi or leafhoppers. Japanese leafhoppers, aburazemi, mimizemi, quite big one. And there are some moths, they are living on the body of leafhoppers. They're very strange, and caterpillars parasitic eating the body of leafhopper. This is funny situation, but there's a nature fact, entomological funny fact. Probably there are more species in Southeast Asia, but I have seen this species myself. Someone asking, maybe it's a silly question, but do you know any ways of fighting insects? Fighting against my insectophobia. Well, so I'm representing you some butterflies. So if you are watching some nice insects, I guess so, this is not dangerous for you. So I guess so, butterflies, night moths, they're quite beautiful, they're very surprising, they're awesome, they're absolutely amazing, and they're not dangerous, so you don't need to be afraid of butterflies. You don't need to be afraid of some other insects like stick insects, because they're very peaceful. They're not biting, they're not stinging, they have no sting at all. It's possible to keep some caterpillars very safely in a hand. It's possible to keep some night moths just hatched on the hand, on your palm. So if you can come to some zoos, so sometimes in the zoos, owners or just some can put night moth or daytime moth, butterfly just on your hand, on your just on your palm, so you can enjoy the beauty of butterflies. If you will enjoy beauty of butterflies, I guess your insectophobia will be disappearing slowly, but eventually will be dissolved in the air. I hope so. And you need to believe in it. If you want to make it dissolved, it will be dissolving. Slowly, but eventually. Beauty will destroy your fears. What's about promise to show? What the largest insect in Philippines? I guess in the Philippines there are some big stick insects. So they're larger than even this species like Attacus larquini. There is Attacus atlas. Species Attacus atlas is considered to be the biggest butterfly in Attacus genus. So up to the 23 centimeters with open wings. This is not the heaviest night moth, but the biggest in the size of open wings, spread wings in both sides. Quite big one. And the smallest one here, Rothschildia, also with 4 spots on the wings. As I'm joking, the small one in between the biggest one, this is kind of a nephew, or just a daughter. No, I say nephew because another name, another surname, Rothschildia, another genus name. Smallest one, Saturnia, this is Rothschildia, but she's living in South America, in Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, and Brazil. Thank you for coming to our stream. Thank you for your interest and activities. Thank you for questions. Welcome to my next streams on my channel, devoted to biology, entomology, science about insects, devoted to English language, and maybe to some scientific activities in Ukraine and worldwide. If you are interested in some other streams in English, in Ukrainian language, in Russian language, welcome to subscribe to my stream here on this vertical stream in TikTok, or welcome to my channel on another social media, to my streams and recorded videos on a Beekeeper channel with red button. You can always find my videos on internet. Type in my name, Dr. Victor Fursov, entomologist, specialist on insects. I'm studying not butterflies, not night moths. I'm studying tiny parasitic wasps. This is my professional duty to study tiny parasitic wasps, but this is my hobby outreach activity to make people more knowledgeable about insects, to dissolve their fears of insects, to dissolve the hate of insects, because unfortunately many adults and some kids don't like insects. If you can find some insects, don't kill them. Allow them to live. If you can see some beautiful insects, enjoy themselves. Allow them to live, fly away. Don't kill them for collection, because this species was growing at laboratory, not in the nature. I didn't collect it. My friend didn't collect it. It was growing in laboratory on artificial diet at home in laboratory in Ukraine, despite this species is from Philippines. I have never been in Philippines, but I have this wonderful, this awesome, beautiful night moth of genus Attacus, named Attacus lorquini, from Philippines, because this species was reared in laboratory, not in laboratory, at home laboratory in Ukraine, for demonstration, for exhibition, for collection, for exposition, for education, for safety, for conservation of a species, even through the breeding, part by part, slowly, year by year, in laboratory conditions. So the species can be saved at home laboratories, at home conditions. Despite in natural conditions, it's living in Philippines. But this individual, this specimen, was born in Ukraine. Big surprise, but this is a fact. This is a true. Male, female, and big female and smaller male. Attacus lorquini. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for gifts. Welcome to our next streams, which will be the sooner, the better. Good luck. Thank you for coming. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to visit my another social media using links in my bio here up where you can go. You can find links to my another social media, my big internet channel with video and social media, 12 different social medias, and also a link to my Monobank for your beloved gifts. So you can send your gift or sponsorship on my Monobank if you can use small card. Monobank box. That's me. I'm collecting some of your support just to get my new video camera. And your support will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you very much for sponsorship. If you are sponsor, if you will be sponsor, if you would like to be a sponsor, welcome. This species is living in Philippines. This one is living in Ukraine. This one is living in Ukraine. This one is living in eastern parts of Palearctic. This is from Ukraine, this small one from South America. But all this one, this one, this one, and this one were born, were bred, were reared in Ukraine. A Reddit account, someone is asking. No, I have not been using a Reddit account. I have never been used. This is another kind of a social media. Maybe I can check it. I don't know actually the advantages of Reddit. If you can write, Richester, what are advantages of Reddit? I'm not quite sure. Maybe this is a more common account for Northern Hemisphere, for States, for Canada, maybe. In Europe, in Ukraine, people are using now mostly Facebook, Tube, Instagram, and this media, this internet video channel, video media, is the most popular in Ukraine now because it's showing different videos and for wider audience can check it. Because in Tube channel, people usually are very silent. People are usually very much hesitant. People are hesitating to communicate. They have no opportunity to communicate in English or in their native language. But in this channel, people are more open and audience is wider. But who knows? Welcome to this channel, my Tube channel, my another social media. You can find me, my email in description of my websites here in description with the link in my bio. Thank you for coming. Good luck. See you soon in my new streams during this weekend. It will come soon, evening time, weekend. The sooner, the better. Thank you for your interest and thank you, sponsors, for your sponsorship. Link for sponsors you can find here. And you can find my, I can show you my email for people who is interested in email. Just briefly, quickly. I need to change the picture to make a mirror. And you can find my email also in description of my video on internet. So welcome to communicate, welcome to collaborate, welcome to discuss different questions about insects, about science, about Ukraine, about entomology. If you want to know more about Ukraine, maybe next my video will be devoted to Ukraine, talking about Ukrainian history, about Ukrainian heritage, about Ukrainian museums, or some interesting places in Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. Thank you for coming. See you soon on my channel. Bye bye. Thank you for your attention. Well. Bye bye. See you soon on my channel. And welcome to be sponsor of my channel.